Right now, your dog is treating one person differently, and most people in the house never even notice it. Not the person who gives the most treats, not the loudest voice, not even the person who spends the most time with them. Because dogs do not choose their favorite human the way people think they do. Somewhere between the quiet routines, the repeated moments of safety, and the thousands of tiny interactions nobody remembers, your dog's nervous system makes a decision. One person becomes home. One person becomes the place their body relaxes around. And once that happens, your dog begins showing behaviors they reserve for nobody else. The strange part is, most of these signs are incredibly subtle. A glance across the room, a long sigh beside your feet, the way they follow one tiny movement before you even stand up. Most owners call these things cute habits. But neuroscience tells a much deeper story. Stay with me, because by the time we get to number 1, you may completely change the way you see your relationship with your dog forever. Welcome to Pawsmind. If you're new here, hit subscribe right now because this is exactly the kind of thing we talk about every single week. Let's break down the 7 things dogs only do for the human they trust the most. 1. They look for you before they relax. Watch your dog carefully in a room full of people. They may wander around. They may accept attention from strangers. They may even seem completely comfortable. But every so often, something small happens that most owners never notice. Their eyes search for you. Just a quick glance across the room, a tiny pause before they lie down. A silent check to make sure you are still there. Most people think this is meaningless. It is not. This behavior is called social referencing, and it reveals something incredibly important about your relationship with your dog. Your dog is using you as an emotional compass. Your face, your body language, your presence tells their nervous system whether the environment is safe or dangerous. If you remain calm, their body begins to relax. If you stay present, the room feels manageable. That is why your dog may happily interact with other people while still checking for you again and again. They are not being clingy. They are regulating stress through the person they trust most. And once you understand that, those tiny glances start to feel very different. Because your dog is not simply looking at you, they are grounding themselves in you. But what happens when you walk through the door goes even deeper. 2. Their entire body changes when you come home. There is a huge difference between a dog being happy to see someone and a dog whose entire nervous system shifts the second you walk through the door. Most people notice the wagging tail first, but the real signal is deeper than that. Watch the hips. Watch the shoulders. Watch the way their whole body curves toward you, as if happiness is physically pulling them closer. Some dogs spin in circles, some bounce uncontrollably. Some do that full body wiggle that looks almost too big for their own body to contain. And here is the truth most owners never realize. That reaction is not just excitement, it is relief. When you leave the house, your dog does not stop loving life. They still eat, sleep, play, and move through their routine. But the person their brain associates with safety, predictability, and emotional regulation is suddenly missing. So when you return, their nervous system releases tension all at once. That explosive greeting is your dog's body saying everything feels right again. And this is why your dog may greet other people politely, but greet you like they have been emotionally holding their breath all day. But the next sign of deep trust becomes even quieter, and somehow, even more meaningful. 3. They sleep with their guard down around you. Most people think trust looks dramatic. They think it looks like obedience, excitement, or constant attention. But some of the deepest trust your dog can show you happens when they are doing absolutely nothing at all. Pay attention to how your dog sleeps near you. Do they turn their back toward you? Do they stretch out fully instead of staying curled tight? Do they let out a long sigh before falling deeply asleep beside your feet? Those moments matter far more than most owners realize. In the animal world, vulnerability is dangerous. A sleeping body cannot react quickly. A relaxed muscle cannot defend itself. Every survival instinct inside your dog understands that letting their guard down around the wrong creature could be fatal, which is why this behavior is so powerful. When your dog sleeps deeply beside you, their nervous system is making a decision. They no longer feel the need to stay alert. That is not laziness. That is emotional safety becoming physical. Your dog is silently saying, I trust this space enough to stop protecting myself. And once you truly understand that, those quiet, sleepy moments begin to feel almost sacred. Because your dog is not just resting near you. They are showing you the softest, most defenseless version of themselves. But what your dog learns about your movements may surprise you even more. 4. They memorize the smallest things about you. Have you ever noticed your dog reacting before you even do anything? You shift slightly on the couch, and they suddenly lift their head. You reach for a certain pair of shoes, and they already know you are leaving. You take one step toward the kitchen, and somehow they understand the entire story before it happens. Most owners laugh this off as coincidence. It is not coincidence. Your dog has been studying you for years. Dogs are extraordinary readers of human behavior. Research shows they constantly observe micro-movements, breathing patterns, posture changes, walking speed, tone shifts, and repeated routines. But here is the part most people miss. They do not study everyone equally. They pay the closest attention to the person their emotional world depends on most. Because to your dog, your movements predict safety. Your habits explain what happens next. Your routine becomes the structure that makes life feel understandable. That is why another person can walk across the room and your dog barely reacts, but the smallest movement from you changes their entire attention immediately. You are not just another human in the house. You are the person their brain has learned to monitor for emotional direction. And the next behavior may be the clearest sign of deep attachment of all, because it only appears when your dog feels uncertain or afraid. 5. They look for you when the world feels uncertain. This may be the strongest sign that your dog has emotionally chosen you. Watch what happens when something unexpected appears. A loud noise outside, a stranger walking into the house, a strange object sitting in the corner of the room. Most dogs react instantly. That part is instinct. But what happens next tells you everything about trust. A deeply bonded dog will often look back at your face before deciding how to respond. That glance is not random. Your dog is asking a silent question. Are we safe right now? And your reaction becomes the answer their nervous system believes. If your body stays calm, their tension begins to lower. If your voice remains steady, their fear softens. If you move confidently, they often follow that confidence without hesitation. This process is called emotional co-regulation, and it is one of the deepest forms of attachment seen between dogs and humans. Your dog has learned that your behavior predicts survival. Think about how powerful that really is. Every safe walk, every gentle response, every moment you stayed calm while they were afraid, your dog remembered all of it. And over time, your presence stopped being just familiar. It became reassuring. Because to your dog, you are not simply part of the environment. You are the place they search for when the environment feels uncertain. 6. They follow you even when they do not need anything. This is one of the most misunderstood behaviors in dogs. Your dog follows you into the kitchen, into the hallway, into the bathroom, from one side of the house to the other. And most owners assume the same thing. They probably want food. They are just being needy. They are too attached. But here is the truth most people never consider. Sometimes your dog follows you for one simple reason. Your presence itself feels safe. Dogs form emotional attachments through proximity. In the wild, staying close to a trusted member of the group increased survival. Distance created uncertainty. Closeness created regulation. And even though your dog now lives in a house instead of a forest, that ancient biology still exists inside them. That is why many dogs follow their favorite human even when there is no reward involved. No treats. No walk, no toy, just proximity. Your dog is not always asking for something from you. Sometimes they are simply choosing where their nervous system feels calmest. And if you pay attention, you will notice something fascinating. They often do not need constant interaction. They just want to know where you are. Because for a deeply bonded dog, your presence becomes part of what makes the world feel emotionally stable. And the final sign may be the quietest one of all. 7. They exhale around you. This may be the quietest sign of love your dog can give, which is exactly why most people overlook it. It usually happens during the smallest moments. Your dog finally lies down beside you after following you through the house. Their muscles loosen. Their eyes soften, and then comes that long, heavy sigh. Most owners think it means nothing, but biologically it means everything. That sigh is often the nervous system releasing tension. It is your dog shifting out of alertness and into safety. In both humans and animals, deep exhaling activates the parasympathetic nervous system, the part responsible for rest, recovery, and emotional regulation. In simple terms, your dog's body is saying, I do not need to stay guarded right now, and that is incredibly important. Because dogs do not fully relax everywhere. They do not emotionally surrender around every person they meet. True relaxation only happens when the brain stops scanning for danger. So when your dog melts into the floor beside you, when they rest their head against your leg, when they sigh as though the weight of the day just left their body, do not dismiss it as ordinary. You are witnessing trust in its purest form, not loud excitement, not obedience, not performance. Just a nervous system finally feeling safe enough to rest. The truth is, your dog is not asking you to be perfect. They are not keeping score of your mistakes. They are not expecting flawless training, endless energy, or a perfect routine every single day. What they are searching for is something much quieter: consistency, safety, presence. Because the strongest bonds between dogs and humans are not built through one huge moment. They are built through thousands of ordinary moments repeated over time. The way you greet them when you come home, the way your voice sounds when they are nervous, the way your presence slowly teaches their body that the world is safer when you are near. And once a dog truly trusts you, they show it in ways that are almost invisible to everyone else. In the glance across the room, in the full-body greeting, in the deep sleep beside your feet, in the way they follow your smallest movement, in the quiet sigh that says, I can finally relax now. That is not a small thing. To be emotionally chosen by a dog is one of the purest forms of trust an animal can give. So if this video made you think about your own dog, tell us in the comments, what does your dog do that makes you feel chosen? And if you enjoyed this video, hit like, subscribe, and join us here at Pawsmind for more deep insights into the emotional world of dogs. I read every single comment.